So for the last scene here, we just need to animate the spaceship and the drone to launch. So I'm just going to go to Blender, then let's unhide all this. So I'm just going to, where's the drone? Okay, so I'm just going to go to the 120th frame here. Yeah, let's just go to the 120th frame. So let's increase this. So I'm going to be deleting all the keyframes here. So once you select them, press X, then delete keyframe. So let's bring it down. I think let's delete the bezier curve as well because we are no more using it. So right click and delete. But the drone is gone as well. So I'm just going to press Ctrl Z because I'm kind of lazy. So let's work on this plane launching. So I think I'm going to be changing this camera view to something like this. So yeah, I'm going to be changing it to something like this. Then I'm going to be cutting a hole here. So let's just move away from the camera view. So I'm going to be deleting this. S, then delete. X, then delete. So let's just click on this object and go to edit mode by pressing tab. So I'm just going to add some loop cuts, Ctrl R for that. So let's add some somewhere here. I think somewhere here is great. So let's add another one. Then let's move it somewhere here. Let's add one here. So Ctrl R and somewhere here. So I'm just going to face select. So let's face select these two. Then I'm going to press X. Then you can delete. Let's delete faces. So once you go back to your camera mode by pressing 0, you are here. But I'm going to actually change this. Okay. Let's just change this view to something like this. Okay, so something like this is actually great. I think this view is actually great. So I'm just going to press 0 to go back. Then let's add some models here so that we are not going to have just plain here. Let's add models in the scene. So I'm just going to press 0 back. Then let's go back to object mode. Then the 3D cursor is here, so Shift A. Let's import, I'm thinking, a cylinder. So I'm going to be changing the vertex into 12. Then let's bring it up, G, Z, up. Let's scale it. Yeah. So we need to reduce it. So S to scale it in the Z direction. Let's reduce it to something like this. So I'm going to be deleting the down face. So this face here, this down face. So let's go to edit mode. Then let's face select this down face. Then X, delete face it. So let's go back to object mode and let's place it on this. So I'm just going to be changing this. Yeah. Changing this to face. Okay, it's actually there already. So you can just click it, then G, Z, and then make sure your mouse is actually here. So press Ctrl, then it's going to snap to that grid. So it's there actually. So we just need to move it somewhere here. So I'm just going to select G, then I think X direction, then G in Y direction. So I'm just going to go back to the camera mode. Okay, I think that's nice. So let's go back. So I'm just going to press, let's go to edit mode and face select this. Let's extrude it outwards a bit. I'm going to go back to my camera mode. Okay, that's right. So let's exit the camera mode and let's add some loop cuts here. So Ctrl R for loop cuts. I'm just going to increase my scroll wheel then by 2. I think this is okay, so let's select that. So I just need to add some stuff here. So I'm just going to face select, and you can press L, so it's going to face select everything. Then I'm going to shift press this, so I'm deselecting this. So we can just add some insect. So I for insect, let's add, then press I again, so that it's going to insert individually. So I think something like this is nice. Then let's extrude it. Let's try extrude. Okay, this is not working, so let's click on extrude around regions. I'm going to close this. So extrude around normals. So you can just shift this inwards a little bit. Let's go back to, okay, this is actually looking nice, but it's a little too much, so Ctrl Z to that. Then let's drag it inwards. Okay, this is actually great. Okay, that's actually great. So 0 on your number pad. Okay, so I think this is nice. I'm going to be using this. So let's go to the render view so that we can add some colors to that. I'm going to go back to my object mode. Then we need lighting there as well. We need some light here. So let's go to material. So the material, yeah, okay, so this is the material. Let's add some material here. So we can use white. Okay, then let's reduce this spectacular and increase this roughness a little bit. So I'm just going to go back to my solid mode. Then let's find 0. So let's look for a light we can just place there. So I'm thinking, what's this light? This is actually a blue light. Okay, this is actually a blue light too. So I'm just going to shift D this. So shift D, then let's bring it into this place. Then select 0. Let's go to render view and see what's happening there. Okay, I think that's actually great. We can reduce that light. So once that light is selected, let's reduce the power to something like 50 watts. So let's wait for the samples. So I think this is actually great. So I'm just going to go to something like this render properties. So let's scroll up. Okay, what we are looking for is not here. So let's go to this output properties. Oh, actually, I'm just going to select the camera. So let's go to the camera properties. So I want to change this camera length. I'm going to go to output properties. Then let's change this resolution. I think let's change this resolution into something like 330. Okay, this is actually what we want, but I'm just going to change it back to 2000, like. So Ctrl Z, and then Ctrl Z. So let's go to solid mode so that you are going to see it well. So let's change this resolution into something like 2080. Okay, so I'm just going to bring this camera. I'm going to move away from the camera view. Okay, move away from the camera view and make sure the camera is selected, GZ, and let's bring it down a little bit. So I'm just going to go back if this is actually what I want. Okay, I'm thinking this is actually great. So we are rendering this. Oh, let's. I think I'm going to uncheck this lock camera to view. So let's press N and move away from the camera. Okay, I think this pose is actually okay for me. So I'm just going to render this. So I'm going to render this, the drone and the drone and the spaceship. I'm going to render them different. So let's hide this bezier curve in render as well. So the backgrounds, I'm going to be rendering them as one. So let's just hide the drone. Let's hide it in render as well. Then the spaceship in render as well. So I'm just going to be rendering this as one object. So let's go to render, then render image. So let's wait for this to render out. So when the rendering is done, let's save this image, then save. So I'm just going to save this as 4A. Then let's reduce this compression and let's save this. So let's close this render view and let's unhide the spaceship and enable it in render as well. So let's hide the interiors and hide them in render as well, plus this cylinder. So make sure you disable it in render as well. So I'm just going to render this out now. So click on render, then render image. So let's wait for this to render out as well. So once the rendering is done, let's save this as well. So let's save this as 4B. So you can reduce this and save this. So let's close the render view. So I'm going to unhide everything I've already hidden. So let's unhide this and in render as well. So you can just save this. So let's go to After Effects and comp. So I'm just going to locate my renders. So click the tool and drag it into After Effects. So I'm just going to drag them into the timeline. So let's zoom this. So I'm just going to bring this here. Then I'm going to delete the previous one, which is the 3B and 3A. So let's put 4B under 4. Let's put 4A under 4B, I mean. So the reason why I exported this, frame that I added 2000 to this is because I'm going to put animation on the spaceship, which is 4B. So let's start that now. So I love this scene, so this scene is okay. So just select 4B and press P for the position. So let's add a keyframe, then let's go to something like 15 seconds. Then let's drag it up, so you can move it up, okay, to the last part there. So I think this animation is actually dope. So let's play it and Ctrl Z to that. So let's play it. You see, okay, that is going, but that's very slow. So we can just adjust this, like if we can shift this down more to something like this. What about, okay, yeah, let's try something like this. So I'm just going to play this. Okay, I think that is actually nice. Okay, I think I should shift it down more to it's not showing anymore. You see, when you can play it from here, when the drone attached, then you go to the next scene and you it went up. So we have to add some, so that we can add some like acceleration stuff here. So just select the two keyframes and make sure your time indicator is on 1. So press function F9. So function F9 and press this icon, which is the graph editor. So I'm just going to select this and drag it to this side So let's play what we just done now. So I'm just going to play this. Okay, that's actually dope. So I'm just going to shift this down a little. So we are stopping our animation at 15 seconds. So let's cut this into 2. Then we can. So I think our animation is going to stop at the 15 seconds. So I'm just going to go to comp 1, right click, then let's delete these 2 minutes, then change this to 15 seconds and delete this. So I'm just going to click on OK. So here is our animation in 15 seconds. So you can just play it and watch this. So I'm just going to save this now